we've already established these characters will kill. The difference is that we're always in the Kira, so we're kind of brainwashed when we do it. This will be purely her if she does it. Damn. Wasn't expecting her to fire. Damn. So this was hands down the most crazy, exciting, and batshit insane episode of GQuuuuuX, bar none. It was exciting. It honestly felt like the most Gundam feeling episode out of the batch, and honestly, by the end, everything kind of gets brought together into one plot line, rather than having the whole, like, hey, we're doing these duels because we want to get to Earth, and then you have all the other political stuff in the background with all the other adult characters. Now it feels like we've kind of merged into one plot line, and honestly, I'm still unsure where exactly we're going with this show, because most of this episode, I was like, damn, this actually does feel like it could be a one-season show, just here's this small story that maybe they just had some fan service, some callbacks to stuff like Char. But then by the end of the episode, I think, oh no, like this really does feel like the first season of multiple. And everyone's saying something different, but no one has links to any of their sources. So it's definitely up in the air. The thing, though, is just, this kind of felt like a fate worse than death. If anything, Shuji might have got out of this one the best. I feel like our boy just got obliterated and isekai'd, just rather than Truck-kun, we got Kira-kun. Buddy was fine, he's like, I see the other side, and whatever isekai adventure you see on that other side, I hope it's worth it, my boy, because this shit be bonkers. But I think everyone and their mother, whether you've seen past Gundam series or not, you probably had a suspicion something was going to happen to Machu's mother. Mainly because that often happens in Gundam. I mean, parents, they don't really have a great track record. Either they do some shitty things or they get shitty things happen to them. And, you know, I really felt like as we were building it, I mean, you have just war in the middle of downtown. And, I mean, props to some of the authorities. They did try to avoid stomping on cars. But, I mean, that shit was chaos. I really felt like, oh yeah, like Machi's mother's gonna die for sure. Like, that's what we're building into. And I feel like what happened, but I have to imagine for her, that's gonna feel like a fate worse than death. She was already deeply concerned that her daughter had no future planned, and now her daughter is plastered all over the news, the internet, for the world to see that she's a terrorist. And the amount of shame and guilt that she will experience, where did I go wrong as a mother, what could I have done differently, the glares and the disgusting looks she will get because her daughter is considered a criminal. It's not just like, oh, you know, she got arrested for drinking, or, you know, she did some shitty thing. Like, this is about as bad as it could have been. The only way it could have been worse is if they had video of her shooting someone. And I really feel for the mother, because it doesn't feel like she's done anything wrong. She was just a mother, and, you know, her daughter was like, I'm bored, I don't have a future, I don't know where to go. And, like, I get it, but I don't think this was necessarily the answer. But hey, hopefully, you know, everything going on with the Zeon and everyone is gonna work out, and she'll find her purpose and it won't be too bad. But I mean, we, early into this episode, had her pull the trigger. She pulled the trigger, man. Now, did she miss? Yes. But the craziest thing, too, is all of the death we've seen from these kids up to this point has happened because of the Kira, right? Their kind of schizophrenic, like, mental link thing that goes on. So you can argue, are they fully in control when this happens? Doesn't seem like it. Had she pulled the trigger and it killed this woman, that would have been the first kill we saw from this group that wasn't Kira'd out of their mind. That would have just been, I killed someone. So I'm very happy, not only because I love the character's design and, you know, yeah, she screwed us over, but hey, you know, welcome to Gundam. So I'm happy she lived, but I think I'm more happy that she didn't kill, because this would have been a kill that, like, there's no schizophrenic mental thing going on that can cover up why that happened. So, thank God. Though, unfortunately, it does seem like she lost all the money. So as she ran away, she dropped money, and then when the cops blasted her backpack, more like, I think she might have been lucky to have a couple hundreds left over when it was all said and done. But honestly, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but the idea that we're just trying to go to the next duel, which was then actually a kind of like a disguise to get the money, and then, you know, we can relocate Shuji. Like, they just have this love triangle going on. At least both of them wanted what seemingly was best for Shuji, so they were working together, and then it ended with Shuji entering the isekai realm. And he's like, I see the other side. And I'm like, boy, at this point, just go. You're schizophrenic ass, just go through that light and you let us know what happens if you can. And just it was chaos from there. It had Evangelion feels at different time. Psycho Gun is the OST. It on one hand felt like the end of a season, the same way it felt like the beginning. This has been a very confusing Gundam to watch, not because it's hard to follow, but it's hard to know what they want to do. But it feels like the second half of this core is definitely going to feel a lot more structured now that things have kind of like connected. We're magnetically pulled all together. And while at the same time, I'm not going to be shocked if this does turn out to be a one and done season and they just did something different and Gundam seasons are just unfortunately getting shorter. Depending on how they go, it could still become memorable. But given what we're building throughout this, I'm gonna be more shocked if this isn't at least 2 seasons. I heard, the one rumor I heard, which, once again, no verified source, is that the second season of the show will have a different name and that the Quacks will have, like, a proper name or something. And, like, that's why they're keeping the name a secret. I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of sounds interesting. Either way, like I said, it's all rumors. Like, no one really has sources. But, do I want another season? Yeah, 100%. Though I will admit, most of this episode, I was expecting just most of the cast to get obliterated and this to, like, shift mostly to the adult cast. I wasn't expecting the adult cast to kind of recruit everyone, but man, top 3 moments of this episode. Machi pulling the trigger. I didn't think she was going to pull the trigger, and if she did, I thought he was going to shoot the arm. Thank God, did not. Shuji seemingly getting isekai'd. I'm interested to see if we'll ever see what happened with him there, or if he's just seeing the truth of the universe. And the unfortunate realization of what's happening with Machi's mother. We don't even need to see her to know that has to be heartbreaking. I gotta admit, their facial recognition technology, pretty damn impressive. I know we got some pretty high-tech robots moving around this world. The fact that her blurry-ass face was able to get a 98% accuracy was pretty impressive. Though I do love that. I like that no matter how much more technologically advanced we get, our way of censoring faces has remained the same. Generic black bar. Schoolmates. Is that Machu? Yeah. Yeah, it is. They didn't... I mean, I'm sure the logic is they're criminals. We did the most we had to. But damn. Yeah, definitely the most exciting episode. The most batshit insane. And you could argue fate's worse than death. Thoughts? What did you think? Your favorite moments? You definitely know my top 3. Let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And hey, we do have those full live reactions over on my Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got F Google, Darthwin Wright, Magical, Eric Barton, Extras Ghoul, and we also have Jeff. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.